Everyday Truth, January 8th, 2019. I still have 40 minutes left in this day to get this episode done. I just got home from day one of an 8-week solo performance workshop with Charlie Varon at the Marsh, and he's sort of one of the 3 or 4 grandfathers um, of this form being nurtured in San Francisco. And I feel like this place, to me personally, would be one reason to live in the city of San Francisco. Um, to be closer to that, to be able to go to more shows more often. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing place, in my opinion. But you've heard me go on and on and on about my love of performance writing, and you might be noticing the difference between this episode and the last whatever number of episodes that I've filmed over the last 2 weeks. And what I can now say is I was going through withdrawal from not having my performance writing sessions because I still haven't really refined a process where I can work on my stuff effectively on my own. A lot, like 99% of the stuff that I create is done spontaneously in front of an audience in a completely time pressured situation. So I'm going to see how that evolves over the course of this 8 weeks. It's amazing, the kind of nurturing of people that happens when you're working with people in a creative practice, not talking about their desire to do creative practice, but bringing creative work to be shown. And it was just so shocking how today's class just started with, maybe 5 minutes of intro, like logistics. There's the bathroom. Here's when we're going to start. And then he just got up and said, somebody go up there. No warm up, nothing. And so I got to experience that. And I went second out of the group of maybe 8 people. And it was great. This experience for me is so, so, so alive. And here's my tagline, because I'm going to become an evangelist for solo performance creation as a form of not only personal therapy, better than therapy, but also is the equivalent of a lot of therapeutic processes, but experiential empathy training for audiences and for the creators, self-compassion in the creation process, social commentary. It's just I love how I'm in a room that's being facilitated by someone with this total enthusiasm for the wild possibilities of this form. And I totally share that. I'm right at that discovery point in my life of, oh my God, what can be done with this form? And Charlie Varon's been performing for 28 years and teaching for 25. So it's a pretty interesting laboratory. And having just come out of spending a year with Armand Volkas, who is a drama therapist, who also has at least, I want to say, between 25 and 30 years of experience in that, it's a real gift, and I'm giving it back. I facilitated a session at our public library in Half Moon Bay yesterday. I think I filmed an episode on that. Oh yeah, that was the failed Wi-Fi episode. And so it was like 5 people from the community came and we did like a miniature experience of it, and the aliveness that I saw on people's faces, like when they walked in, the classic after work zombie face, digital zombie face, to like the aliveness of being in our bodies, moving, interacting, sharing, listening, and, being, all I can say is alive again. And to notice the contrast between how we're living our lives typically and what it really feels like to be alive in your body and with other people is really exciting. And that's why I love teaching. That's why I've sort of been in semi-withdrawal for the last 10 years of not really teaching on a daily basis. I miss witnessing that moment of people coming alive. And of course, in teaching, it doesn't happen with every single interaction, but I was seeing it every day, and that was my big source of joy. And so I just love witnessing people. And my tagline for solo performance, getting back to that point that I was trying to make like a minute ago, nakedness at its best. And it really is, it's human nakedness at its best, because it's someone trying to convey something. So there is an effort going into it, but there's also the effort is toward this ultimate truth that's inside each of us when we can go to that deep place and do the work and find it. And it is absolutely so gorgeous 100% of the time when people find it. And what I love is witnessing the diversity, ages, genders, viewpoints, perspectives. I love people challenging the political views that I'm seeing come across my screen when I have the unfortunate task of looking at Facebook. And it's like, wow, I really feel more and more committed to not needing to be on there. I've already deleted Instagram from my phone and considering hiring somebody to do my posts for me, because I really feel a huge difference in my mental focus, not having the ability to quickly tap an icon and get this like drug infused into my brain. And so I am not planning to reload that app anytime soon. If I can somehow find a way to modulate my Facebook activity, right now it's pretty good. I'm not feeling, I'm feeling actually informed and connected by the things that I'm sharing there. I'm sharing like longer pieces of writing and observations that don't fit neatly onto Instagram. But it's like I'm having visions of, creating, how can I start to create an epicenter of this form where I can play with working with people on performance creation closer to home and, continue to learn. I feel like I'm in the room with Charlie Varon, and Kenny Yoon is his assistant in this class. And collectively, there's just so much experience there. And I feel like this is like a hidden gem of like an MFA in solo performance creation in this tiny little theater with 8 people in it in San Francisco on Monday nights. And is today Tuesday? Tuesday. And that's how I'm viewing it. I'm like, this is my MFA. I mean, I'm in this. I'm so fascinated. I love what it's doing for me. I love the discovery. I love the creation. I love the performance. I love the stage. I love listening to my own voice. I own it. And like monologues, hello, that's my natural form of communication. And what's great about the acknowledgement in this room is that like actually this laboratory of creating solo performance together is this social form. It's like a solitary creation, but also a social form, because once we expose and reveal ourselves in solo performance, we have made bonds with so many people in that audience that will remember our stories forever. And whereas in kind of the bland social interactions where people are drunk and not even present, we're not remembering anything. We're actually trying to forget when we're together. So the beauty of this nakedness is we remember that connection, and sometimes the name and the face and every detail about that person forever, when we've heard and felt something so real and so true for a person. And this has been my longing my whole life, and mostly the last 10 years, 20 years, my adult life, to find this way what are the conditions and what are the forms that we have to engage in to find that real true place of interaction between humans in real life. Okay, like what I'm doing now is like an analog. I'm reporting on an experience I had in real life that will never be captured in what I'm saying. You can maybe feel my enthusiasm, but you still haven't had the experience. So get off your ass, go do something in the real world. And I have this last thing that occurred to me, because I'm like, everything in my life has to now basically align around allowing me the time to write or work on, my writing process, which is not sitting there writing on a piece of paper necessarily, but it's all of these things I have to do to be in the frame of mind to be creative, which is to have flexibility in my schedule, ability to go exercise in the different various ways that I do. Um, you know, I I dance in my home. I do yoga. I do hiking. I do biking. I do going to the gym. I do a variety of exercises that all feed me and are all important, but I I need to be able to do that. I need to be able to eat real food that I prepare from real ingredients. That's a really important part of my life. And I need to go to these classes, and I need to do performances, and I need to teach. And this combination of things is now kind of coalescing as the essentials for my life. And so everything around that, what do I do for money? Well, whatever will fit in those boxes. If it's, I'm really at the point where I'm no longer killing myself over um, these old models of promotion that I've been clinging to for 10 years around my coaching business, et cetera. It's like, I need to throw all that out and look at new possibilities, because like I can see myself uh, be, you know, creating my own form of coaching people in creation of solo performance, starting within the next few years. And I'm also already starting this class at the library, which will be meeting regularly. Just as it's a laboratory, and it's an offering, and it's just ways to stay in it. And the rest of it, these professional identities, these ego things, these worries and everything, it's gone, because there's a center point, there's an axis. And so that's taken me a long time, and it's hard earned, this discovery, this trial and error. But the commitment in the center has always been toward creating a life where there's a central, nourishing, creative practice that is deep and real and authentic with real people in the real world, and working through the human experience that we are all going through, that is mostly buried when we're in social interactions. Mostly social interactions are about the denial of those human realities. And I'm not interested. So I found this, and this was also acknowledged tonight, that the theater is a place, and has always been a place, like a sanctuary, where we can step back and observe our society, and our human experience within that society. It's almost like it was the ancient form of collective meditation on our experiences. And when we're in a room together, witnessing that together and seeing real humans enact that for us, what was the term he used? It's I wrote it down. The stage is the place of emotion. And that's an interesting thing, because now I think we have like the video is the place of emotion. And it's so different, because I don't know the last time you've seen a live theater show where you're in an intimate theater close to the performer, and you can see like the texture of the sweat on their brow, and every hair in their beard, and chest hair if they've got an open shirt, which happened tonight with one of the performers, which was just an amazingly brave performance. But when you're in a room, I still have this sensitivity. I think a lot of people are frankly on screens so much that they've lost the sensitivity, or they've had to shut down the sensitivity to get through other aspects of life, which I grieve for. Really, I grieve for so much of the world that is basically, that's how we're living. But those of us who have the privilege to still be sensitive to human interaction, and like be able to respond to a live theater performance and say, wow, like I'm moved in a way that I'm not moved in my daily life, because we just don't have that container, the space, and that creation of something for us to emote to. And it's different from a video. That's my point. That I'm not saying films are not also places of emotion, but it's a different quality. And there are specifics about the solo performance form that are unique to it that are completely different from film. And it's okay to watch a film of a solo performance. Like, you can see John Leguizamo's HBO specials, but watching and hearing the reverberations in a theater with the performer who's doing it live and who's right there with you and being surprised with you. It's nothing like it. And I'm just seeing it because I'm seeing these shows in such intimate spaces. Maybe these theaters have 150 seats at most. And in these classes, it's like I'm right there, and it's amazing because I've been a clinician, a teacher, a coach. I've been in human interactions my whole life, so intimate, like with teaching music and playing music and being a doctor and coaching and all of these therapeutic interactions. It's all about the intimacy, and then to see it in this creative form and see people crafting, just trying different ways to get at what's real in their experience is like so exciting to me. So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing my little recordings of everyday truth, and it's gonna be the reality of our day-to-day lives, which is our truth is fluctuating. We connect with what's real. It's complicated. I'm not interested in the reductionist way of, compressing things down and moving on, because we've got enough of that. We live in a soundbite world. We're being reduced to ones and zeros, and this is my personal revolution against that.